Gamers, you are ready. All right, are you guys ready to be famous? Listen to them. I told them they were going to be famous. They wanted to know what college. They were very interested in knowing more about. So can you tell us the name of the college?
Sure, it is the University of Texas at Tyler. It's out in East Texas.
They were hoping that we have a lot of Baylor fans in here. We've got some UT fans in here too, don't we? So,
yes.
Well, we're so excited. So there you go, boys and girls. All right. All right. All right, boys and girls, we have been studying nonfiction text. Who can tell us a trait of nonfiction text? Zombie?
The nonfiction text has a lot of text features. For example, content, index, glossary, diagrams, and facts. It sort of helps you learn more about the book, and also nonfiction books text features are real. They're not like realistic fiction. They're not make believe. They're real.
Good. So we know nonfiction text is real, and it's giving us facts, and you did a great job in telling us that it has text features. We know there are certain parts of a nonfiction book, like the table of contents, the glossary, the black bolded words, and that's what we've been learning about. Good job. Hannah?
Nonfiction is something that actually happens. Fiction is something made out from imagination.
Exactly. Nonfiction is something that is real, giving us information, teaching us about something that is real in God's world, right? And then fiction is going to be something from someone's imagination. What else, Kiara?
Nonfiction can also be biographies. It can be about a person's life. It doesn't always have to be about trees or something that's living. It could be about a really important person like the president.
Excellent. So we also know that there are many different types of books that fall under the nonfiction genre, right? And biographies is another example. Good job. Gabby?
Diagrams, and the diagrams tell you what, like, it labels the parts of the leaves, and the fruit, and the flowers, the buds, and it will label everything for you, so that really helps you.
Excellent. So Gabby pointed out that sometimes we have diagrams in our books with labels, and those help us as a reader. Excellent job. So boys and girls, everything that you've mentioned, if you'll put your hands down, y'all did a great job on that. Everything that we have been learning and talking about helps us as a reader, right, Zachary? That is helping us when we pick up a nonfiction book. That we talked about this. Can they sometimes be a little extra challenging for us? Yes, because many times they have difficult ideas in them. Sometimes we need a little research or a little help to understand. And they also can have difficult words inside of the text. Well, what we're going to talk about today are those words inside of nonfiction books that can sometimes get tricky or can sometimes cause you to stop and have to do a little extra thinking as a reader. And we've all done that in guided reading, haven't we? So today we're going to talk about something that good readers do, and this is a tool that we're going to put in your reading toolkit, and it's called Context Clues. Can you say that for me?
Context clues.
Now, if you look up here on my chart, I have the word context clues. If we look at the word context, if I take con off, what word do I have?
Text.
Well, what is text? We know that word. We use it all the time. Kara, what's that mean?
Text is writing.
It's writing on a page. It's anything that we read. It's our poems that we read. It's our nonfiction books, our fiction books. It can be a message. So it's basically words on the page. We know that text can be anything that God gives us that stretches us. And we're going to put con in front of it. And that's kind of a hard part of a word, and we haven't talked about this. But con means within or inside of. So context means inside of the text. What does it mean?
Inside of the text.
Inside of the text, okay? Are your books filled with words?
Yes.
Oh, they're filled with many words. Some words you know very, very well and you can read them like this. Sometimes you come to a word and you get stuck on that word. Does that happen to all of us? It happens to all of us as a reader. Did you know it even happens to adults? Okay, so context is within the text, inside of the text. And then we have the word clues. When I say the word clues, what do you think of, Jack?
Like hints and
Good, giving you
like if
hints.
you're on a scavenger hunt, like maybe you'll find like some papers with clues on how to find stuff.
Excellent. That is what I was thinking of too, Jack, is a scavenger hunt. Or when I ask you all to be word detectives and look for certain things. That is clues, okay, giving us hints. Okay, put your hands down for just a moment. Let's look back. Context clues. So we're looking at something inside of the text that's going to give us what? Clues to an unknown word. So when you're reading nonfiction and you're reading along just fine and everything's going well, and all of a sudden you come to a word, it's almost like your brain stops, right? You might be feeling a little confused or stuck. But we know we don't have to stay stuck, right? Because we're all about giving ourselves tools to help us get through those words. So today, boys and girls, we're going to talk about context clues that are going to help you be a better reader. Here's the first one that I want to give to you. When you are a reader and you are stuck on a word that's inside of your book, did you know that you can go back to the cover of the book? And good readers should reread the title. Well, my title today is Green Plants. So probably a word that I'm stuck on inside of my book is probably going to connect to what? Somehow it's going to need to connect to plants. And we've studied plants in science, so maybe you need to think back and think about some things you've learned about green plants.
Use your schema.
You can use your schema, your background knowledge that you already have. So this is what our first clue tells us. Use story titles and reading topics to predict what you think the unknown word means. Quentin, what does it mean to predict? We've studied that. What do you do when you predict as a reader? Can you help him out, Gabby? What do we do when we predict? You guess what's going to happen in the book. So, if I'm stuck on a word, I can go to where?
The cover.
I can go to the cover or the title of my book to get what? Clues. And it might help me figure out that unknown word. Okay? For example, as I was reading this book earlier, I came to that word photosynthesis. Wow, it's a black bold word too, so it must be important. The author put it in black bold print for a reason. And that's a really big word for me. So one thing that I could do is come to the title and I'm thinking, wow, photosynthesis. It has to do something with green plants, I'm sure. Okay, so that's one clue. Here's clue number 2. Look at the pictures as you read for clues about unknown or unfamiliar words. So again, I'm going to go back to that word photosynthesis because that's the word that keeps tripping me up. It's a really big word for me, and I don't know the true meaning of it, Cooper. So I'm going to look at the pictures. Well, I don't have any photographs on this page, but who can tell me what we do have that might help us? Hannah, what do we have?
You have a picture of a plant.
Okay, and what is it called?
A cycle.
It looks like a cycle.
Diagram.
Thank you. It's a diagram with labels. It's a diagram with labels. So what I'm going to do, Hannah, is I'm going to study my diagram. Well, look at here. Look here. At the very top of my book it says photosynthesis. This must connect. So as I look at this, I'm seeing a picture of a plant and I'm seeing some arrows and oh, maybe the sunlight has something very important to do with that word photosynthesis. So I start brainstorming in my mind. So can pictures help you determine unknown words? We better put that on our chart because we're building an anchor chart today that will help you as a reader. This is giving us all the clues. So far we can look at the title to help us get clue of an unknown word. Or we can do what? Look at the pictures or the diagrams with labels that will help us. All right, here's another one. Find nearby key words that will give you a clue about the word. Now what I mean by that is you need to go back into the text and you need to actually find the word that you're struggling with. For me, it's photosynthesis. So now I'm going to go back inside of my text. This time I'm not looking at a picture, I'm actually looking at the words on the page, the text. Because remember, context means within the text, in the writing that the author gave us. Yes. So photosynthesis is right here. So this is what I'm going to do as a good reader. I'm going to go back and I'm going to reread the sentence that the word is inside of. And this is my sentence. This process is called photosynthesis. Does that give me many clues? No? That sentence doesn't give me a lot of clues. So do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go back and I'm going to read the sentence in front of it. And this is what it says. Green plants get energy from sunlight, the air, and water. Green plants get what?
Sunlight and water.
From the sunlight and water. What are they getting, Sanvi? What did it say they get?
They did.
Well, we're studying it right now in super science. What did they get? Amelia? What is it?
Energy.
Energy. So, the book is telling me green plants get energy from sunlight, air, and water. Okay. Energy gives us what? What does energy help us do as people?
Work.
Helps us work. Do you think plants have to work too?
Yes.
Yes, they do, because they're living things. God put life into them just like us. So this has to connect. If I have to get energy from my food in order to do my work and play at recess, then plants must need energy too, right? And it says they get it from sunlight, air, and water. And then the next sentence said, this process is called, do y'all remember? Photosynthesis. So what I'm thinking is, do you all think that photosynthesis is how plants get food and energy?
Yes.
Did we just figure it out?
Yes.
Yes, because we use the clues in where?
Writing.
In the writing, in the text. So let's add that to our chart.
Or we could go to the glossary or index.
Oh, Zachary, why do you say we could go to the glossary or the index? Because that's another good clue.
Because it just, on the glossary, it tells you what the words mean, and it has them all there, and it tells you what they mean.
You are so very smart. Zachary also remembers that if we have a glossary, we can also check ourselves by going to the glossary. Because remember, it's a mini dictionary housed right here in the book. And guess what, Zachary? If I go to the glossary, I find photosynthesis right here. Photosynthesis is the process that plants use to make their food. You all were right. And they get it from the sun, carbon dioxide, air, and water from the soil. Everybody give yourselves a big pat on the back. That was absolutely awesome. I'm so proud of you. Okay, hands down, let's review, because in a moment you're going to put this to action today. Okay? So let's look at our anchor chart one more time. Remember, we're using context clues today to become a better reader. Thank you. If your eyes are up here on the anchor chart and you're ready for learning, feet on the floor, sitting up tall. So, one clue, we can use the title. So if you get stuck on a word, go back to the front cover and check out your title and see if it gives you clues. We can also look at the pictures, the diagrams, or the photographs inside of a nonfiction book to help us. And we know that we can look at the sentences and the words around the word that is hard for you, and that will also give you clues. Now later this week, we're going to continue to add to our anchor chart. I have more tools for you as a reader, but for today, we're going to focus on these three. Here is your job as a reader today. You are going to be reading your nonfiction book, and you're going to be thinking about our chart. And I want you using our chart, okay? We're going to use our anchor chart to help us. So let's take a look at your graphic organizer now that you are going to work on along with your reading response today. So if you'll give me your eyes on the screen, we're going to check out your graphic organizer because you will want to know how to do this graphic organizer. I need my material manager to come and pass this out. Kiara, if you'll give everyone a graphic organizer, we'll be ready to go. As soon as you get your graphic organizer, I need your name, give me your autograph, and your date at the top. I think we're okay right now, Alex. Thank you, though, buddy.
Do we do reading and response for my first before we do it?
Readers, today we're going to do the graphic organizer first, and then we are going to move into our reader's response. And I think our projector
Well, how
is
did you
giving us trouble this morning.
Oh,
It
how
worked
did-
earlier.
Well, how did you finish on the green?
It's on green.
It's flashing though. I don't know why it's flashing. It worked this morning for our morning work. Alright, boys and girls, we may have to talk through it without the screen. And that's A-okay. We are always flexible, right? We're always flexible and you guys are always working well.
Well, how did you finish the graphic
Thank
organizer?
you, sweetheart. Alex, if you'll hold that question, I'll answer it in just a few moments. Okay, give me a thumbs up when you have your name and date on your paper. Let's go ahead and talk through this graphic organizer. You guys are going to get it without the screen today because you guys are so smart and we've talked about it. So let's take a look. Read the title with me. I can find, can you read it with me? It's at the top of your paper. Ready? I can find clues for meaning. Now, there's a place for you to put your book title and the author's name. And you are going to select 2 words from your reading today that gave you trouble. Okay? And you're going to tell me which clue you used. Okay? You have to go back from our chart. Did you use the book title to help you as a reader to find that unknown word? Or did you use pictures or a diagram with labels or a photograph to help you figure out that unknown word? Or, strategy number 3, did you use the text within the book? Did you use the text, the words around it, the ideas around the unknown word to help you? Now, friends, listen. You may use the same strategy today for both words. Or you may use a different strategy for each one. We'll have to wait and see how what works for you. All right? So you have 3 tools to choose from today. The tools that we just modeled. All right? Now, in just a few minutes, you're going to get into your book nook. And first, as a reader, we have to read our book, right? Okay? Now, you may take a few sticky notes. Don't get them yet. I'll let you get them in just a moment, Zachary. You may take 2 or 3 sticky notes with you, and I want you actually marking the page where you get stuck. Okay? Just put a sticky note at the top of the page where you got stuck on a word. So that when you come back to do your organizer, you'll have your sticky notes there and you'll know exactly which word you need to write down. Okay? And if you follow these directions perfectly on your organizer, you're going to know exactly what to do. Thumbs up if you understand. Okay. If you are an early finisher today in your task, you're going to go straight into your reader's response. So task number 1 will be our graphic organizer on context clues, and task number 2 will be your reading response today. Remember, it's a free response for a nonfiction text, and you will use the same book today for all of our agenda items. Zach, do you have a question?
Can you use the glossary to help me too?
If you need to go back and refer to the glossary, you may. But I want you to try to figure it out using the other clues first, Zach. But if those don't work for you, you may go back to the glossary. Sanvi?
Do you have to fill out all of them? Because, like, if one of them helps you out and the other two don't.
You're only going to complete the parts that help you. Good question. Zachary?
What happens if you finish your reading response?
Then you can read quietly in a book nook. Gabby? Well, I always want you using your clues, but you're going to be thinking that in your mind as well. You want to do both. Jack?
When you finish your reading response, can you do a fiction book?
Yes. Your second book may be any genre you choose. Sanvi?
Like we usually do after we're done doing our projects all the time. Can we do like our buddy project? Or
I will tell you, sweetie, we're not doing buddy projects this morning. And you won't have time for buddy projects. We'll have to do those tomorrow. Zachary?
What happens if the two words are on the same page?
That's A-okay. Sometimes we get stuck on more than one word on the same page, and that's A-okay. All right, friends, let me have your eyes, please. I'm going to call you by team, so listen very carefully. Team 1, you're going to quietly take turns getting sticky notes, and then you're going to go find your book nook around the room, and you may get started. Way to go. Okay, good, but I want you to keep reading, okay? And then you're going to come back and do your graphic organizer. Team 3, you may get your sticky notes, and you may find your book nook around the room. I think you might find some. But let me know if that's the case, George. All right, Team 2, you may quietly get your sticky notes. You may still do that. Excellent. Go ahead and mark it. You found one. Yep, go ahead and stick it on your page, sweetheart. And turn it right around the chart. Just perfect. All right, team number 4, you may get your few sticky notes and find your book nook. Oh, yes. You may go to your book nook and do your work around the room. To mark your places. That's exactly right. You have your first one. So now you need to tell me which clues did you use to help figure out that word, and then we'll look for word number 2.